Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm so glad that you're here. We're finishing up Saturday, the full Saturday. It's about 20 minutes after 4 our time. But I began to study and try to nail down things for the next few days, but in particular tomorrow morning at worship. And I was studying about the Apostle Paul, and who had so many opportunities to just wave the white flag and quit. So I ask you the question, what kind of setbacks are you facing today? How have you responded to those setbacks? Why do you think they exist? And what are you doing to accomplish the goal of your personal call and relationship to Christ? You see, rarely do we really think about these types of questions, but the answers to these questions mark the difference between someone who makes a difference in the world and someone who quits. For example, Henry Ford failed and went broke 5 times before he had his first significant success. Beethoven handled the violin awkwardly and preferred playing his own compositions instead of improving his technique, and his teacher called him hopeless as a composer. Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor for lack of ideas. Disney also went bankrupt several times before he built Disneyland. Walt Disney, short of ideas? Yeah. Albert Einstein didn't speak until he was 4, and he didn't read until he was 7. His teacher described him as mentally slow, unsociable, and adrift forever in his foolish dreams. He was expelled and refused admittance to the Zurich Polytechnic School. The University of Bern turned down his PhD dissertation as being irrelevant and fanciful. You realize that the movie Star Wars, one of my favorites, was rejected by every studio in Hollywood before 20th Century Fox finally produced it. And you know what it is today. It's still one of the highest grossing products in film history. What is all this about? I think that ought to be something that we ought to consider, because what we're going through is not nearly as important as who we're going through it with. You see, if you're locked into your home, and I recognize nothing has really radically changed since March. For me, I'm ready to move forward. For me, I recognize for me to live is Christ, but to die is gain. Now, that doesn't mean I want to die, but I want to live a life that matters. In fact, when I try to bring it down to this, I don't want to live a wasted life. And one of the very easiest ways to live a wasted life is to live it for things that don't count. I challenge you today, discover your purpose and sell out to that purpose. For me, it's all about Christ and his power to resurrect even the dead. Have a great day.